Greetings, fellow space pilots. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of a new series playing Starsector with the Nexerelin mod. If you would like to skip the game's overview or the setup of this scenario, please use YouTube chapters, and all of that information can also be found in the description of the video. Welcome everybody to a brand new series playing Starsector. For those that don't know, Starsector is an open-world, single-player, space combat role-playing, exploration, and economic game, where you take the role of a space captain seeking fortune and glory however you choose. In this series, I'll be using the Nexerelin mod, which adds many 4X features to the game, like diplomacy between factions, alliances, wars, invasions, planet and asteroid mining, and more. Before I start, I would like to cover some of the basic details. So, I'm playing version 97A, release candidate 11, with the mods LazyLib, MagicLib, and Nexerelin. LazyLib and MagicLib are basically just support libraries for Nexerelin. They don't do much on their own. And then we have galaxy settings. So for these galaxy settings, I can leave them up for a minute, but basically random core worlds and the faction relations will be flattened, meaning I'll have a 0 for everybody. Factions will respawn, and all factions will be enabled. The Prism Freeport, which is a Nexerelin thing, will be disabled, as will the Academy stipends. One won't be paid from anyone. It will have a random start location, and it's going to be a difficult start. A free start, meaning that I start with just a small trade ship and 2 other ships, with almost no money and an unknown background. And the goals is to found a faction that incorporates AI cores into its governance and dismantle the Hegemony, which they are vehemently opposed to AI cores. So, let's get started. A new game. My name is simply going to be Nex, and I want this as my portrait. Honorific will just be Captain, and I'm going to disable the help pop-ups, as I have just finished like a Starsector series, so if you want sort of like how to play, you can get that from the other series. So this is talking about Nexerelin. I'll read this for your benefit. Welcome to the Nexerelin mod for Starsector. It's essentially a 4X extension to the game. Factions within the sector will wage war, create alliances, and compete to control a greater share of the sector. Nexerelin is compatible with a large number of community-made faction mods, which you can add for more varied gameplay experience, which I have not. Your actions will gain or lose influence with factions in the sector. The higher your influence with a faction, the greater access to their support and technology you will have. At the start of the game, you pick a faction to join. You are a representative of your chosen faction, and your actions in the sector will reflect on them. You can move to another faction later. You can earn their trust. You can also choose to go it alone and set up your own empire. That's me. Have some fun, and good luck. Alright, start playing. So we're going to enable the random core worlds. By default, the center galaxy or center constellation is always the same, but now it won't be. So there will be some random core worlds. And then in terms of the sector generation, I'm not going to modify any of this. So it will be 10 systems, 23 populated planets, 8 stations, so on and so forth. Default across the board. For faction settings, the starting relations are going to be flattened, meaning I'll have a 0 with everyone, which is interesting because that means 0 with the Luds and also 0 with the Pirates. All factions can respawn, so all means that it will allow the entry of new factions not present at the start of the game. So that means that if I had disabled any factions, they might be able to respawn. And then as far as faction weights go, it will be default. So Hegemony will start big, in other words. Alright, and then the other options. So disabling the Prism Freeport. The Prism Freeport is like it has everything you need kind of trade station, and I don't want that. I'm also going to disable the Academy stipend, enable the random start locations, and we are good to go. Those are all the custom settings. I will be starting as free start. So you have some choices, obviously. You can initially join factions. You can create your own faction, which means you have a starting world. And I don't want a starting world, I want to pick my own. You can randomize or a custom start, but I'm just going to be doing the free start hard. And then I'm going to be picking trade ships. I'm going to start with a trade ship. as I think probably the earning potential of a small trade ship is greater than that of a small combat ship. Yeah, and this looks good. We'll have a Colossus, a Taurus, and a Wayfarer. So let's do it. And then to start, I'm going to be an ensign, meaning that I don't have a lot of money or levels or officers at all. So yeah, pretty much one of the hardest starts you can have. Now, there is an option to be in heavy debt. I didn't want heavy debt. I'm just going to have a default unknown background. As far as my first point spent, it's going to be for transverse jump, because without transverse jump, I'm going to lose my mind. So that's how I'll spend it. Okay, we are in. And I'm going to pause. It just tells me these are like ignorable error messages. So it looks like I'm in the Sindrian Diktat starting area. So let's take a look at the sector. I'm going to turn on all the overlays. So we have Belisho. That's the home sector. And what I probably want to start to do is to scan gates so I can hop around. I'm also going to want to get money pretty quickly because I have no academy stipend, so I need to be able to pay my crew and the fuel bills and the supplies and repair bills and all that stuff. So money's going to be a big concern early on. I will guess that, and I'm not sure exactly, but it looks like Belisho's constellation includes Amon, Asmodee, and Black Emperor, and also Kadeho. And I'm guessing that these worlds are probably like terrain claimed by the other core worlds, meaning that I might want to survey them, but it might not be an ideal place to start up for myself. I might want to be a little bit further out. In fact, it might be good to seek unique conditions for a starting location. As far as my faction relations go, I am 0 across the board with everybody. And one could probably assume that if I plan to heavily incorporate AI cores into my empire, allying the independents, which don't care about AI cores, and the pirates, which don't care about anything, is going to be ideal, because AI cores is essentially illegal everywhere else. So my allies are really going to be the independents and the pirates. The people that care about the AI cores the most is the Hegemony, but everybody kind of finds them illegal except for the independents and the pirates. Alright, is there gates here? No. Hey, but the Glacia Academy's here, right next to the Ludic Path. Oh, that's fun. You have people that seek knowledge next to people who don't. Oh, and there actually isn't an active gate here. So that's where we're going to start. And I'm going to do a quick save here. So what I want to do is I want to start scanning the gates. Oh, actually, before I even scan the gates, let's refit the ships. So I just incorporated the Janus device so that we can gate hop, which is something that you start with in Nexerelin. And I want to refit these ships so that I can actually move worth a damn. So let's go ahead and do militarized subsystems, and maybe I don't have any way to go faster than that. So I'm going to do the auxiliary fuel tanks. I feel like the distance that I can travel is going to be more important than anything else. So right now, with the militarized subsystems, the burn of my big ship here is as fast as the other ships. So the other ships can be set up in a different way. Got it. All right. I do have names for these 3 starting ships, so I'm going to give them names as well. This will be the Nex Matic, the Nex JD V2, and the Nex Klein. All right. So for this ship here, let's go ahead and add... You know, I'm actually going to do militarized subsystems because I don't think I want the really giant sensor profiles. Given that I am on good terms with everybody, it doesn't necessarily mean that pirates are going to jump me, but other people might. You know, like remnants or something like that. And then the last ship, I'm going to do cargo holds and fuel tanks. Essentially, I want travel distance. So, there we go. All 3 ships are all set. Now, I don't have a lot of money, but I do want to have enough crew to not suffer any penalties. And I'll hire a little extra crew to make sure that if I have any crew losses, we can still keep running. And then I'm going to refuel as much as I can from the black market. All right, so we've set up our ships decently. The current priority now is going to be activate gates and take survey missions. So I think that the survey missions are going to be the easiest for a fleet like mine to handle. Because we're not going to be killing anything with a bunch of trade ships. Not really, right? So there's a gate in this system. And we'll scan it, and then I'll look around for survey opportunities. Okay, so it's the only gate we own. That's fine. And let's see. What missions do we have around? So a bunch of things for the Luddic Church and Path. Yeah, no thanks. Not in a million. So instead, we might have to poke around a little bit further out. There is a jungle world for the Tritac, but I think I want to start working already for the Pirates and the Independents, as they're going to be ultimately the ones I can rely upon for, you know, as allies. So I'm just looking at the diplomacy profiles. The Hegemony is hierarchical, militarist, and ideological. The Luddic Church is ideological and hierarchical, and technophobic, and anti-corporation. The Path is militarist, ideological, and super technophobic, and anti-diplomatic, anti-corporate. The Persian League is diplomatic and corporate, and a little ideological. Sindrian is hierarchical and militarist, kind of like the Hedge, but not as technophobe. Tritac is very technocratic and corporate. And then Pirates, ideological and anti-hierarchy. Makes sense. Alright, so we have one gate. Let's jump around and try to find other missions. So I want to go to solar systems that have a high ratio of like Pirates or independent planets to increase my chance for the appropriate missions. I can also start installing comm sniffers in order to get like more data. And I did take transverse jump, so I'm going to add that to my hotbar here. The Luddic Path are sort of the religious zealot terrorists, and the Luddic Church is the, you know, the Luds. Alright, so this star system is boring. There's nothing here. So, no colony opportunities there, but at least we have it marked down now. Come on, someone hire me out. So there's another inactive gate here that I'll scan. And then there is a scanning a domain error probe, and I'll accept that for the Independence. And I'm hoping to get a bunch of similar missions all clustered together. That would be ideal. Now, I am on surprisingly neutral terms with the Pirates. That's what the flattened relations did for me. So, I can immediately start using their black markets and smuggling and things like that. I don't have a smuggler ship, but that would definitely be something I would want to look for soon. So I'm just going to top up on fuel here and see if there's any work to be had here. You want me to install eyes in the Bell system on Solus, a Ludic church planet. Let me see if I have data about that. So Solus, at the moment, is in a bit of a nebula, which is easier to hide. But I don't have low-profile ships, so I'm not going to accept that. I don't think it's going to be... I think it's doable, but not easily doable. So I'm going to reject it for now. I'm looking for the freebie missions. The ones that don't require too much effort. So that's the second gate scanned. So I do have a Janus device, but I don't have the ability to jump until I start scanning the gates, which is why I'm trying to scan all the gates so I have much quicker freedom of movement around. I don't want an arms dealer. I could smuggle, but I don't... I'm not heading that direction, so I'm going to decline that one as well. Alright, so let's get out of here. There wasn't really any missions for me. And at least to pay the bills, what we could do is go over to the independent probe to analyze and get that in. And it wouldn't be a necessarily bad idea to hop solar system to solar system on our way over, provided I have the fuel, just to get the start of the lay of the land. Because we might find some good solar systems to colonize that way. Or at the very least, scanning gas giants and magnetic fields for topography data so that we can traverse the galaxy a little bit faster. Yeah, this solar system is looking pretty dead to me. Doesn't seem to be probes or ships or really anything. Oh no, I take that back. This tiny little cryovolcanic world has ruins. I am not going to be able to survey it though. Oh no, I can. I start off with heavy machinery. Okay, let's do it. So in Nexerelin, you can also mine planets. It's not something I intend to do much of. Mining planets, if you're wondering, is kind of like a safe way, as long as you're not hostile with people, to get like passive income. It's sort of like the passive income you get before you start colonizing. But I don't want to start buying mining ships and doing that kind of stuff. Doesn't interest me. Alright. Got some organics. It's not nothing. And let's bounce out of here. So we are headed to Zeta Lebniz. And ideally... Okay, so that's the target. Ideally, I want to get there... I could go to the... Well, no, I don't have the ability to slip surge. So we'll go the old-fashioned way. Now, another thing that that will happen a lot, as you'll notice, is the... And in my opinion, in Nexerelin, it probably happens too often. It should probably happen like once every month, not like once every day. But there will be significant faction changes pretty regularly of the relationship between other factions changing with one another due to sort of random events like this. So here's a great example. The relationship between Tritac and Persean League just went up by 14 because of philanthropy. And these kind of things will pop up all the time. And honestly, it happens. I find the galaxy to be a way too volatile as the result of how frequent it happens, but at least it keeps the world or the galaxy very fresh feeling as a result. So I like it as a game mechanic. I just think it needs to be toned down like a factor of 10. All right, so we're here in Zeta Lebniz. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of probes here. So I'm just trying to get as many of the scans as I can for the data about the topography data. And this little probe had information about a drone ship, a survey ship. Nice. So the one I'm here to scan is what? Let's see what it says. Oh, yeah, here's another one. Tritech and Persean just went up by another 18. So they went from 0 to 32 in like a day. For the player, for me to get my relationship with another faction up to 32 in a day, I would need to be the second coming of Jesus or something. Like, it's just not, it's not something I can really do. All right, so this probe here is a distance away from the center in an asteroid field. Maybe this here? That'd be my guess. Stochastic Turtle, thank you for the bits. And Little Friend and DSM Matter, thank you for the resubs. Cheers. Oh yeah, there it is. Sensor package done, and that will pay the bills. It also had information about a habitable world, which is a good lead if we're looking to colonize. So this, I might want to poke around a little bit more. I have a little bit more cargo space. Because we're not really using fuel while we're out here, and because I have such a tiny fleet, the amount of supplies that we need to keep the ships running is really low. It's 0.5 supplies a day. I can poke around a bit more and look for ruins and worlds or other drones and probes. Yeah, so this one actually is surveyable. We just don't have enough people. We're missing a 20 crew to be able to survey this. But this has ruins if we ever want to come back. And what do we got here? Ooh, a survey ship. It's probably defended. Yeah, it's defended. So I'm not going to be able to defeat the defenders, but that's good to know. And this one's defended too. Because we have trade ships, we basically have 0 combat prowess. So until I earn enough money to buy a decent fighter, anything that we happen upon that is a combat opportunity, I'm going to have to pass on. Because it's suicide. Alright, I'm going to maybe hit up this red giant on the way back. Ooh, sensor ghosts. Go away, sensor ghost. How much rep does repatriating prisoners give? If you have a high-value prisoner... You know, to be honest, I don't even know. Guess we could look into that. I know it's like 5,000 credits, so I don't think it's a lot of rep. Okay. Wow. Persean League and Tritech are now at 51. And yeah. They are fast friends, huh? Alright, let's check out Asmodee. It's a white dwarf. It's probably not going to have habitable planets. So the habitable planet we did find was where? At Gamma Leibniz. Okay, cool. This has some gas giants and a barren desert world. Oh, the barren world has ruins. Because I get asked this regularly, how do I know it has ruins? It's the little junk that's floating around the planet. These like little pieces of junk. Which is supposed to represent like old satellites and space stations or something like that. Meaning that it was like inhabited at some point. Oh, not mine planet. Explore ruins. Wow, that ruin was underwhelming. Oh, now Persean League and Tritech are xenophobic towards one another. So Oh, man. The diplomats... Oh, no, they're back up now. God, their diplomats are going to have straight up whiplash. Alright, that's enough of poking around in this solar system. Let's get back to the core and look for more paying work. So, let's go to Togar. It doesn't have any worlds that I would necessarily want to interact with, but I am looking to activate as many gates as I can. And there's no gates here. Well, fine. Let's try down here. So Kanta's HQ is down here. There's no gates here. But I'll head over to Kanta's den and see if they have any work. And I can also sell things on the black market over there, because I have a ship full of random stuff now. And I'm looking at the feed for potential missions. So this is kind of far away from where I want to be. The gas giant to the north is... So I'm here, right? If we take a look at the missions being offered, the ones close by are all Persean League and Hegemony, so that doesn't really interest me. And then the ones at the like corner of the galaxy are the independent ones. So I'm going to wait for better offers. Topping up the fuel, and I'm going to add a little bit more crew so that I have a greater capacity for surveying if we happen upon worlds that are slightly larger. You need eyes on Roharis, which is a Syndra Dictat world. Well, why isn't it letting me zoom in? Decline for now. I just want to see if it's going to be easy or not easy to get. That was the wrong click. No. What I'm looking for is like if there's a asteroid belt around the target, because then you can hide in the asteroid belt and set up spying. This doesn't have an asteroid belt, so I'm going to decline that. Or just not take it. Mine's Steddle, thank you for the resub. Oh, there is an old ship here, a museum ship. Visit the museum ship for 1 credit? Sure. So I gained a little bit of experience. This is a bounty, and yeah, I'm not going to be able to take any bounties, not with my current crew. So let's see where this probe is. Oh, that's not too far. Alright, I'm going to accept this probe, and I'll accept the probe that has me go even further. I might as well start to try to map out the gate systems that are far away from core, because they could really be powerful in the long run. If I gain access, if I have a really wide gate access, I can take quests that have me go to far-flung places very, very quickly. Before I head over there, I'm going to try one more solar system to see if I can pick up a third mission. Orbital habitat? That's the wrong direction. And other probe? in the right direction. Where the habitable world is? Yes, I'll take that. Ooh. Alright, let's see. Oh, there's a gate here. Good. That's what I was hoping. Alright, I'm gonna head before I actually head as far west as I can, let's go pick up some fuel. Being out of fuel in the middle of the middle of nowhere is pretty horrible. And yeah, I'm black marketing everything. Oh, look at these wonderful weapons in stockpile. I don't have any restrictions about what I can buy and what I can trade, so it's going to be a lot easier to get, like, quote-unquote meta ships much more quickly. The struggle bus of Scrappy Privateer will not be felt in this one. Not in the same way, at least. A barren world... that's kind of in the right area. I'll take that too. Okay. So, currently accepted missions. Maybe go to the barren world and then try to ride the... No, the slipstream's backwards. So maybe I'll go to Alpha Australia, or whatever it's called, first. And then double back for that barren world. It's the last one I accepted, so it will be... I have the longest to do it. So what I'm hoping to do here is to take missions for pay to build up a little bit of money. Hopefully finding, like, abandoned ships and things like that that are worth a whole lot. And surveying systems for potential colonies, because I would like to start colonizing early on. Now, for those that don't know, Starsector has updated a bunch since I started Scrappy Privateer, toning down a lot of the colony threats, because they were, just as I felt, they were a little ridiculous. So now it makes it a little bit more obvious that you can, like, bribe your way out of invasions, and, like, what the other factions care about is reduced. So, like, you're not going to have TriTac up your butt for, like, just growing some food, for instance. And then also there's, like, a maximum cap for colony threats per month, so that you can't have so many threats that overlap one another that it's, like, penalizing. Okay, sensor package is done. And that had guards, so I'm out of here. Next up, heading over to Gamma Lebniz. And Gamma Lebniz has a habitable world that I might want to check into too. Now, one of the big changes of Nexerelin is that the other factions are going to go to war with one another, invade each other's planets, and also colonize. So it's also one of those situations where if I don't colonize soon, I might lose colonization opportunities that are, like, rich and rewarding. So there is a bit of like a time incentive to go quickly, unless you want your life to be extra hard. All right, sensor package. Oh, let's get the debris too. How much money do you need next in order to try to colonize the world without getting overwhelmed by threats? It really depends on what you want your colony world to do. But I would say, you know, like, maybe a little bit more than $1 mil or so. Alright, so these worlds are too big. So this is a hot, extreme weather, habitable, high gravity. So it's really not an attractive world, as it doesn't really have any natural resources even without surveying it. And this one's an arid world. Hot, tectonic activity, high gravity, habitable. Again, I don't have enough people to survey. 2 potentially colonizable worlds, although, yeah, probably not that interested in colonizing them, just given their condition. keep going. So, Nemosine, or whatever it's called, we'll head that way. And even just inspecting those worlds will put it into the intel that I have for potential habitable worlds, making it easier for me to figure out what I can colonize in the future. So these are all the known worlds, and I can look up that these two worlds have a 175s each. You know, so we're building up sort of like a codex of potential colony candidates. So, Rembrandt, I'll pet Yoda for you for free. How's that sound? Or rather, you did redeem it, and I somehow ignored the audio cue. Because I'm good like that. Nope, no distress calls. Hell no. I gotta worry about my own fuel to get home. I'm hoping to ride these slipstreams, but it looks like they collapsed, which is not helpful to me. This is where I want to go. Right here. And I am looking to do what here? A probe, which is in an asteroid field away from the center. Got it. So maybe... Well, I want to swing by this desert world, see if it's any good. And there we go. We got enough topography data to reduce our fuel use slipstreaming, which is awesome. It's pretty useful. Wow, these are some thick asteroid belts. Oh, this is a world with ruins. And I can survey. Nice. So we get expanded missile racks, which is kind of nice to have. And some organics. And that probe had a lot of fuel, had like 60-something fuel. It's going to be helpful getting home. There's a sensor reading here at the star. Nope. There's a fight, and I'm noping out of it. All right, all of what we needed to do in this neck of the woods is done. We're already up to 1/4 mil, which is great. I have just enough fuel to make it to the edge of civilization on the way back. Are there gates that I have discovered that would cut down? No, there isn't. Okay. I was hoping to find a gate out this way, but I'm just going to go straight back home because I don't want to dally and run out of fuel and not make it, essentially. You're wondering if I'm going to get like a 14th Legion ship for my first find? Oh, we'll see. I'm going to try not to rely on luck. I'm trying to make money now so that I can afford to buy some nice ships. Yeah, all the slipstreams that were going to bring me home collapsed. When other factions fight, do you see the fights and can join in? Yeah, you can go to the systems that they inhabit, and they'll be duking it out, and you can definitely join in if you want to take a side, or alternatively, scrap and salvage. Absolutely. Alright, we are gonna just make it to Allah. Unless my ship decides to park here. Don't! Nine fuel left. Perfectly calculated. So I'm not against necessarily buying mods that we'll need. I just want to buy the right ones that I need most, saving up my money, essentially. Oh, an AI core in a shielded crate? I will accept, because I happen to be a bit of an AI core collector myself. Maybe not now, but like future me. You're going to want a lot of AI cores. Especially the alpha ones, the sexy, sexy alpha ones. Because I'm going to use them. And I'm going to abuse them. I don't want bounties. And you need eyes on Solus. I believe you already asked me to do that, and I was like, nah. So instead, I'll buy black market fuel. I'm going to buy ITU here. The Integrated Targeting Unit. Because it is a really nice mod to own. Once you have combat ships. Alright, what missions are available? So we still have that surveying pirate one. As far as my faction relationships go, independents are already favorable at 20, which is nice. And then I haven't done anything for the pirates yet, so maybe we'll just go do that pirate survey. While other missions get offered up. Because I don't see too many others that look good. They're all like Luddic Church or very far away or withdrawn. Yeah, okay. So we'll go to Alpha Mesh and survey that world. One thing I didn't check is it needs 150 crew? Okay, we have that. Good. Any opinions on the Efficient Systems mod? It's nice when you don't need other mods installed to reduce running cost of your fleet. For me, I think more importantly would be fuel capacity and cargo capacity, as that's going to make me more money than if efficient systems would save me. But it all depends on what I find out there. Oh, there's like a Lasher frigate. Oh, it's really hard to fly to in this storm. E-burn. Oh god, E-burn is... Never mind, I'm not even going to go for it. So we... Oh, there's a gate down here. Awesome. And we are trying to scan the world that we dropped into, which is convenient. Or not scan, but survey. Thank you for tuning in to Starsector Nex Revolution, which originally streamed live on Twitch, April 25th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits, so thank you so very much. I hope to catch you on next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow pilots.